Day Cyderbaby. This is for Rock Radio UK, and today I'm speaking to John from Voltstorm. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, Dave. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
Yes, it's becoming a nice warm day, so in the shade it's very nice for me.
Yeah, you can see I'm sitting here in my black room, so it's quite vampire-esque of me. But yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Good. Voltstorm. Tell me about the band. I have seen you in the past, but tell me for those who don't know Voltstorm, please just give me a brief history.
Absolutely. So, Balsam is by far probably the best thing I've done in my life, to be honest with you.
Okay.
This project started in 2019 uh, from the desire of doing something different, something a bit new.
Hmm.
We went then public in 2022 with the first EP,
Yeah.
which went fairly well, to be honest with you. And we had high hopes that the follow-up album that we were already working on was going to pick up on major distribution and a major label. That didn't work out that well. However, we went ahead, recorded it, and we released it in September 2024, and we got outstanding reviews and a lot of international traction. We played a few good festivals here in the UK. We just did a run of dates with the Tygers of Tang and Demon.
Yeah.
It was really good fun. So yeah, we are pretty much your homegrown British heavy metal band.
Yeah. I mean, you've got quite a, well, I won't say nostalgic, it's probably not the right word, but true to British heavy metal sound.
The idea behind all of this, it was one foot in the past and one foot into the future.
Yeah.
So definitely not a nostalgia act, definitely not a copycat, definitely we don't dress up, like certain other people. Uh, we just do something that we are proud of, and we think that we can continue the great legacy that was set up back
Yeah.
then, and we want to try and bring it forward.
There are certain bands, shall we say, that are making it quite a noise on the scene that have got this particular brand of heavy metal now. We won't mention one or two, but a band like Wailing Banshee, really, really good, like yourselves, fully independent, and just like you say, grabbing that bit of the history and bringing it bang up to date, and just and they're just pleasing crowds here, there, and everywhere. So I've seen you guys live. I've seen how well you guys perform. So how is it for you breaking into the markets? Because as an independent band, as you said to me, as we were talking about before on the private chat, it is quite difficult, isn't it?
It is very difficult, and it's actually very challenging. I don't want to be negative or drag people down or anything like that, but financially, it's suicidal at this moment in time.
Yeah.
The cost, the cost of recording an high quality album in 2026 are just like eye-watering.
Yeah.
We just had a band meeting last night, quite funny, where we just decided that we're gonna do a single for next year.
Okay.
We just had a look at the overall situation, and even though we have material to go and hit the studio and do a record, it's just not feasible.
Hmm.
And you read about all of this in the news and on social media about people that are like going deep into debt to do touring and all that. It's a sign of an industry that basically is collapsed and it's gone, and it's not helping new up and coming bands who are trying to put in their name out and all of that. So it would have been challenging in normal circumstances. In 2026
Yeah.
is even worse. It's almost like a mission impossible, I would say. But the whole point is that we're doing it because this is who we are,
Yeah.
and we can't change it. We're not doing it for the fame. We're not doing it for any other reason. We're doing it because this is who we are and this is what we do. And when we go up on that stage and we see people responding to our ideas, our feelings, our emotions, the lyrics and the riffs, it makes it all worth it.
Yeah. What you said, you were doing a few dates with Tigers and Demon the other day. I mean, that was bringing the past and the future together in one show. And surely gigs like that are helping you break into the scene slowly. That obviously the demon guys can see exactly what you're capable of, but were the crowds receptive to it as well?
The crowd was receptive, which is the best thing. And we're very grateful that we had the opportunity because, to be honest with you, one of the bands I grew up listening to was the Tygers, Spellbound and all that.
Yeah,
I had it on repeat in between like my White Snake stuff and Rainbow and all that. So it was quite surreal to just be there on like as a pair.
yeah,
It was like, it was almost like a pinch me moment for all of us. It was like, Jesus, we're here.
yeah,
And it was great. And the crowd was very receptive with three very good shows. One night was better than the other. There were 3 nights in a row. They then went off to South America to like great crowds.
yeah,
They are good guys. We got along very well, and there were talks of repeating the format uh, later on, potentially this year, maybe next year, and maybe even in mainland Europe, because it went out very well, and we all go together very well as people and sonically as well.
yeah,
I think the audience really liked it because, like you just said, uh, they liked the fact that they knew exactly what they were getting.
yeah,
And then they walked into a venue and it was the unknown. So we were there like the unknown and they liked what was on offer. So it was like, yeah, I have some of that, please. And it was absolutely great.
yeah. But key to that is the merch sales. Just after the gig, you've almost got to jump off stage and not whore yourself out on the merch desk, but it is.
That's where the main door is these days. And yeah, and we also try to pilot something a bit different with QR codes and things because we're trying to reduce the amount of money we have to put up front. Because
Right.
I know not a lot of people think about this, but being an independent band, you have to front the money that goes into to produce your merch. So you
Yeah.
have to be out of pocket before you even move a finger. Yeah, the fact that mainstream media is still like keeping the door closed is quite frustrating because we have PR. They have been told, they have been given the records, uh, and they say no can do. Well, Danish radio, airplay, US radios, airplay, Germany, airplay. And in the UK, apart from like independents like your good selves,
Mm.
the mainstream ones are like, no, thank you.
A, a lot of that is down to advertising because they get their big bucks from who can we say Vauxhall selling cars at some stupid price, but they only want those particular adverts right beside a song that everybody knows. So there's no
Yeah,
incentive for them to say, "Look at this band, they're great." Oh,
uh,
this advertiser might not like them.
I would be a bit more provocative, Dave. The
Mm,
thing is, there are some people that, in the same fashion, purchase spots at festivals for their bands.
yeah,
They do purchase airplay and prime spots for the bands that they're trying to promote. I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to get into trouble, but that's how the game works right now.
yeah,
Suddenly, when they have a band that they want to push, it doesn't matter if they're known or unknown, they have all the spots.
yeah,
Guess why? Everything's prepaid. And you need to have a six-figure, budget to basically fork out to be able to achieve that. We're working class, mate. Nobody can do that. We're basically. I know this sounds a bit stupid and maybe a bit romantic, but I think we are relying on the fact that we let the music do the talking,
mm,
and that should go a long way. And that's what we've been doing. That's why, some people think, oh, you guys have been playing already for 5, 6 years. How come, on this festival and that festival? It's like, look, more than trying every year, you can't do. But eventually, I think if your product is good, your music is good, you believe in it. All we need is just more people that are getting exposed to it, and then eventually that will do the talking. That's what I'm hoping it will happen.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the great Spotify debate. I mean, it's a great platform to get your music across, but then rubbing shoulders with a million other artists at the same time, all vying for that 10-second listen, shall we say. And the returns on it aren't great.
Returns are inexistent. The
Mm,
returns are like, look, we get, I think, 0.001 per play. I think we've done something like 60 quid for the last record overall,
60
considering
quid.
that,
Wow.
yeah, 60 quid, considering that we spend something in the region of like nine to cut it in the
Yeah.
studio, all analog, all vintage equipment because we wanted the tone,
Yeah.
and we spent the time getting it right. It's that there are a series of problems with that. You spend all this money, all this time chasing the tone with the equipment and the signal chain and all this stuff, and then the majority of your people are consuming it on a streaming platform on MP3 all compressed. But it's it's tough.
Mm,
But there are a few survivors that they come at the gig, they buy the CD and they love it and they want to listen it uncompressed and appreciate. There was a review actually from somebody from Germany that said, "Well, I put it on and then I had to put it on two or three more times because every time there were some little details
yeah.
popping up, and that's exactly what we're looking to achieve." So, yeah.
Mm. I mean, going back to the festival scene, we just had Download. And yeah, the big names are there. I mean, Guns N' Roses. I mean, there's a big debate of how well Axl sounded at the time. Um, but there are bands that are breaking through. I know Primer were on the Wednesday night in the stage. They managed to blow the roof off a tent and went down a storm. But again, they're fully independent. They're not signed. And it's very, very, I know them quite well. And it's very, very difficult for them to get onto that kind of stage in the first place. And it'll be very much like yourselves. You've almost got to beg and borrow and whatever to get onto that kind of stage. But once you're there and you can show people what to do or what you do, it, like you said, the music does speak for yourself. But then you get all the same old bands on the main stages and the Hailstorms, the Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. I'm not saying they're bad, but how many times have we seen them? And
Uh, that's a good question, Dave. How'd you get out of this? I don't know, but I think my spin is that being like running a business, you want to go for the safe bet.
mm,
So that's why they keep on booking this. I'm going to use a term that maybe some people will laugh at, dinosaurs,
yeah,
because they are a safe bet. They know they move the tickets, they know that people rock up, and there's no risk. Why would they risk their paycheck on a
mm,
little known band? Why would they give a platform to somebody who then maybe goes up there and in the heat of the moment says something is like divisive or provocative and then creates a whole different issue for everybody involved? So that there's a lot of money at stake, and I understand why people are being protective.
mm,
But on the other end, there's the other side of the debate, which is like, well, if you don't invest in up and coming bands, when these people are going to retire in 10 years,
yeah,
what are you going to do? You
yeah.
have no credible alternative. People will not, they will not work out in masses to see, baby metal or whatever that they're going to try to shove down your throat at that time.
Yeah. Well, it's like Iron Maiden. I mean, they're approaching the 70s. How much longer have they got in reality? And who really is going to replace them?
It's tough, mate, because if you think about it, as a performer, I think the ones who are suffering the most in this game are the drummers and the singers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, unlike the other electric instruments, we have to rely on our bodies quite a lot. And the more you age, unless you keep a very high fitness level, the more
Mm,
challenging it gets. Like in my little universe, it's already, for me, it's a lot harder doing this thing in my 40s than it was 20 years ago when I started in my 20s.
Yeah.
There's a lot more toil and preparation that I have to do, especially physically and also like mentally. Uh, to prepare, for instance, to prepare for the Tigers tour, I had to pick up like a fitness routine regularly, 3 months in advance, because we were going to do 3 nights in a row,
Yeah.
uh, all guns blazing. Because, like you just said, we had a shot, and we had to make sure that there were no prisoners were made, and the roof was coming off every night for 3 nights in a row consistently, and then we had to load and unload all the equipment because there's no roddies, no stagehands or anything. So we had to make sure that you are ready. But and for these big bands, it's even worse. Bruce is what now, 60 something,
I think
pushing
he's
60
67, 68. I think
to
he's 10
sing
years
like
older than me. Yeah.
that for like 2.5 hours every night.
Mm.
The level of fitness, you gotta be on it. You
Yeah.
gotta be on it. And it's what it is, and but there are good bands out there because this is it's dedication. It's
Yeah.
dedication to your craft and respect to what you do, respect to the fans. It's a mission, really. So they keep going, and I think it's very admirable that they keep going in the way they're going, unlike some other wash-up acts that we're not going to nominate because we don't want to have the cease and desist orders from all the people watching the stream. But you know,
Mm. I mean, what you just said just raised a couple of questions. First off, it's another unseen cost and to the band, like you're saying, being having to get yourself fit and take time out of your day to make sure you're fit enough to tour, uh, which is on top of, is an unseen cost when you think it's on top of your PR, it's on top of your recording and on top of everything else, your artwork, your merch, um, orders and stuff like that. It is tough. It is very tough like that. Today, there are no or very few full-time musicians just relying on their gigs, their booking, say 20, 30, 50 gigs a year that they're booking, like they were in the 80s and the 90s. Yeah, everybody's got two jobs these days. And how sustainable is that for an industry?
I think for me, that's a symptom of an industry that is collapsed. There's no industry anymore. The tissue's gone. The fact that you are who you're an artist, and you're very good at what you do, because there are a lot of people out there who are excellent at what they do, and
Mm.
you cannot make ends meet. It's broken on many levels.
So,
It's really broken. The fact that you have to then compromise
yeah,
and find a job or two jobs or something to try and keep afloat while you try and keep pushing. God knows for what reason you're trying to keep pushing. That's the thing that sometimes I stop and I ask myself, is like, why am I doing this to myself?
mm,
Why couldn't I just, stop doing this, buy myself like a nice 911, it's a nice sunny day, top down, and away I go.
yeah,
And the reason is, I don't know, because the reality is this in my intimacy, this is who I am. This is what I
yeah,
wired up to do, like a lot of other people out there. And we're just being made to have to compromise because everything just. But if you look at it, it's been a long time coming, in fairness, because it started with the MP3 in 1999.
yeah, mm,
iTunes gave it the first bash in 2012. And then when Spotify really got its speed in mid 2010s,
mm,
just kill it off. Kill it off. They killed your revenue. Um, and I've been lucky enough to see it because when I started in 2006, uh, there was none of this stuff yet at scale. So the first couple of singles I've done as a solo artist back then, I actually
mm,
managed to make a few quid to then finance more studio time or assemble a band to go on the road. But since 2012, the red sign has been on my books
Wow.
constantly.
Wow.
So it's been a long time in red. And you do it for love, you do it for passion, you do it
Yeah.
for the people. When you go up there, you're doing it for the people. That's who you're doing it for. That's what makes it worth it.
What is it going to take to put it right?
A structural change, a magic wand. I honestly,
Mm.
I don't think you can at this point. I think you are too far gone.
I,
Unless there's going to be a different format,
mm.
they would uh, kill off the streaming. And I know they try different things to try and like, but even our stuff, I found it on all sorts of like Russian torrents, which, it gives me like a mixed bag of emotions. I'm kind of annoyed because like already I'm not getting a dime for it,
Yeah.
and then you put the streaming for free. But then on the other side, I'm like, actually, you go to the extent of this trouble, you must like what we do. So it's kind of which one is it, But yeah,
I mean, I suppose if they'd taken the TV kind of attitude towards music and made the streaming platforms bid for to have the music on their streaming platform, so people would go to iTunes or go to Spotify like they would to Paramount to watch a film or to Now to watch a film, stuff like that. That would generate a bigger revenue, but who's going to really want to change it, or who's got the power to change it now?
yeah. Well, I think you have a different problem. In fairness, making all of this available for such a long time
Mm,
made the shift in the sense that people don't see music as art anymore. They see it as content.
yeah,
So
very true.
scroll, 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 30-second attention span of a redfish, And that's what's also killing a lot of bands like us.
Mm,
Because what can you do in 30 seconds? And that is besides the point. The point is to actually listen the stuff from top to bottom, and
yeah,
we put the songs in a certain order on the record because we are trying to like tell a story in a certain way. Taking it out of context and take snippets here and there, and they telling me, oh yeah, we have to do all the social media and this and that, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there. Yeah, you dance with the devil to get what you need, but
mm,
is it the right thing? Hmm.
yeah. That's I mean, that was the whole thing of buying a CD, buying an album. You took it home and you put the album on the turntable and you listen to side one while you look reading through the notes. These days, I've got to have special glasses, obviously, but it was the thing, and you listening to it from start to finish. Now you got a shuffle button, and you don't know what bloody order it is in. And you may even go through your life missing two or three tracks from your favorite band because they just don't appear on your algorithm, and it's crazy.
It is really crazy, and the fact that if you want to be on the algorithm, from a label perspective, if I switch hats, and I
Mm,
put my label on, I have to fork out considerable amounts of money, like
yeah.
considerable, like 5 digits, fat 5 digits. I'm
Wow.
like, whoa, who's got that? Who's got
Yeah.
that spare change sitting around to like push your band out to the fans? So it's even worse. So basically, they created a system and now they close the doors. And I'm right, we can open these doors for you, but you gotta pay big time. So you know what? Screw it.
Yeah.
Just go out there, do it for the fans, and that's what matters. People will come out. People will come to the gigs. With just it. That's why we our strategy is not to do like 70 or 80 gigs a year. We
Mm.
just do like maybe 10 high quality, well placed appearances, and that's what we do.
Okay. I think on that point, I think we should draw this little interview to an end. Is down to quality content. Well, not content, quality music. And I shouldn't say content. You kick my ass. Um, John, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. It's enlightened me. I'm hoping it's enlightened several of the listeners and the viewers of this. And maybe one day we can put the world to right again and maybe make a change.
Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you for the space, and thank you for all the people who are going to be watching this and streaming this. And it's not all doom and gloom. Come out and we rock together, and together we make the difference.
Voltstorm, thank you very much.